Hello, sir. My name is Ihan Ahmed Siddiqui, and I am student of BTech Mechanical third year. Today, I am here to present my assignment topic. So, let's start the video. As you can see clearly, that my topic is working of engine by animation. Means today I am going to discuss about working mechanism of petrol and diesel engine in 4-stroke and 2-stroke. So let's move to the content in which we will see the topic that what we are going to be discuss. First, we will discuss about the engine components name and their working in very short so that we can understand the working mechanism of engine in 4-stroke and 2-stroke. Then after, we will discuss that what are these 4 strokes and what happen in these strokes. Then we will go for working mechanism of 4-stroke petrol engine and 4-stroke diesel engine. Then we will discuss that how this petrol and diesel engine is different. Then we will go for 2 strokes, that what happens in 2 strokes and how it completes their working in only 2 strokes. Then after we will see the working of 2-stroke petrol engine and 2-stroke diesel engine. So let's move to the first topic, components of engine. You can see very clearly in this image the name of the components. So let's start with the camshaft. This is the camshaft which is used to switch on the intake or exhaust valve. This is intake valve, this is exhaust valve. Through the intake valve, fuel is coming inside the cylinder, and through the exhaust valve, smoke is going out to the cylinder. This is combustion chamber where combustion takes place. This is cylinder block, and this is connecting rod which is connecting the crankshaft and piston together. Crankshaft is very important in cylinder part because crankshaft is giving us the power. Means crankshaft is giving the power to the engine. This is crankcase is used to prevent the crankshaft, connecting rod, piston. This is piston which is used to exert the force which is created by the combustion, and this is cooling water which is used to cool the engine when it becomes hot. So these are the important components of engine. Now we can understand the working of engine in better way. So let's jump to the next slide, that what are 4 strokes. Before starting it, let's know that what is a stroke. So a stroke refer to the full travel of the piston along the cylinder in either direction. Mean when piston travels in the cylinder from top to bottom or bottom to top, it is called one stroke. As you can see, the piston is coming from top to bottom, it completes one stroke. When it goes from bottom to top, it is called second strokes, as you can see the number also. So this is called the stroke. And when in the engine completes their working by moving the piston upward and downward 4 times, then it is called 4 stroke. That's why it is called 4 stroke engine. Now we understood about the stroke. So let's see what are these strokes name. So the first name is suction stroke, second one is compression stroke, third one is power या working stroke, or fourth one is exhaust stroke. First we will see the working of these strokes separately, that what are the purpose of these strokes in the cylinder. Then we will go for working of engine. So let's see the first one, which is suction stroke. This is the inlet valve, this is the exhaust valve, and the red spot is the fuel. So as you can see, the inlet valve is open and exhaust valve is closed, and the piston will move from top to bottom, which will create the suction inside the cylinder. And because the inlet valve is open, so the fuel will come inside the cylinder. So the suction stroke work is to open the in suction stroke, inlet valve will open and piston will go downward, so it will create the suction. Because of that, fuel will come inside the cylinder. So this is the working of suction stroke. Next one is compression stroke. In compression stroke, both valve, inlet and exhaust, both will close, and as you can see the red color inside the cylinder. So what happens in the compression stroke, piston will move from bottom to top so that it can compress the fuel inside the cylinder. It will compress the fuel to their critical temperature. This is the working of compression stroke. Then in third, power stroke, that when the combustion occur inside the cylinder, it will create some blast which will give the force to the piston, and piston will go from top to bottom, means from upward to downward. and it will give the power to the engine. That's why it is called power stroke, because we are getting power in this stroke, and the valve, both valve, inlet or exhaust, will close in power stroke. And the next one is exhaust stroke. In this stroke, exhaust valve will open and inlet valve will close, and piston will go from bottom to top, so that when after combustion some smoke will create. So to remove that smoke, piston will pull that smoke from going from downward to upward, and it will remove the smoke from the cylinder. So this is the working of exhaust stroke. So these are the things about strokes, that how they work. Now we can understand the working of 4-stroke petrol and diesel engine. So let's move to the working of 4-stroke petrol engine. As you can see in this animation, that how petrol engine is working, but we cannot understand it because it is too fast. So let's understand each stroke of petrol engine separately. This is suction stroke. In this stroke, intake valve will open and exhaust valve will close, as we discussed, and piston moves from top to bottom and will create a suction by which air plus fuel mixture will come inside the cylinder through the carburetor. Here you can see the external part. This is the carburetor through which air plus fuel mixture is coming inside the cylinder. So what is doing the carburetor? Carburetor is basically used to create the mixture of air plus fuel in fixed ratio. So this is about the suction stroke happens in petrol engine. Now let's move to the second stroke, compression stroke. In this stroke, both valves will closed and piston will compress the mixture to their critical temperature. Means piston will compress the air plus fuel mixture to their critical temperature. And the next one is power stroke. In this stroke, a spark plug will produce a spark to the mixture which is compressed and already having a higher temperature due to compression. And that moment, a spark is produced which causes the blast happening inside the cylinder. And that blast will create a force which is exerted by that piston. And that piston will move from top to bottom. Okay, it will move from top to bottom, and because of that movement, crankshaft will rotate. This crankshaft will rotate and will give the power to the engine. Because we are getting power in this stroke, that's why it is called power stroke or working stroke. Now next one is exhaust stroke. In this stroke, exhaust valve will open and intake valve will remain closed, and the piston will move from bottom to top, and it will remove the smoke from the cylinder, and that smoke will go through this. As you can see, this is the square bar. This is nothing but it is a catalyst converter who will remove the harmful particle from the smoke and will release the remaining gas in the atmosphere. So this is all about the working mechanism of 4-stroke petrol engine. Now we can understand the working by seeing this animation. Okay, so let's start with one. In suction happens, compression, power stroke, and then exhaust stroke. So now we can understand this all the 4-stroke petrol engine working by seeing this animation only. Okay, so we completed the working of 4-stroke petrol engine. Now let's see the working of 4-stroke diesel engine. As the same like petrol engine, we cannot understand that what is happening inside the cylinder by using this by seeing this animation. So let's see separately. Okay, so this is the intake. In this stroke, inlet valve will open and exhaust valve will close, and piston will move from top to bottom and will create a suction, and because of that only air will come inside the cylinder. In petrol engine, we are using air plus fuel mixture to coming inside the cylinder. Okay, but in this diesel engine we are not using air plus fuel mixture, we are using just air. So when in suction stroke, when suction will create, only air will come inside the cylinder. Okay, the next one is compression stroke. In this stroke, both valve will closed and piston moves from bottom to top. and will compress the air to their critical temperature. Okay, so when the compression, as we discussed, that it will compress the air to their critical temperature. And in power stroke, so before going power stroke, just see this animation. This is the fuel injection process. Okay, when the gas is air is in their critical temperature, as you can see, when the air is their critical temperature, okay, so the fuel will come through this pipe. Let's just see, the fuel is coming inside the cylinder, and air is at their critical temperature. And because then when this both will mix, it will create a blast, as you can see very clearly. So how this is how in diesel engine blast will happens, and that blast will create a force which will cause the piston to move down, and we will get the power through this crankshaft. This is all about the power stroke. And the next one is exhaust stroke. In this stroke, exhaust valve will open and inlet valve will close, and the piston will move from bottom to top, and the smoke will go through the through the catalyst converter, and the harmful particle will remove from the gas, and the remaining gas will eject into the atmosphere. So this is all about the working mechanism of 4-stroke diesel engine. Now we can understand the working by seeing this animation. Compression happens, power in power stroke, piston is coming downward, and we're getting power in the exhaust stroke, the piston is going upward. So this is, now we can understand it very easily. Okay, so this is all about the working mechanism of 4-stroke diesel engine. So now we know about the petrol engine or diesel engine. So let's see that why this petrol engine and diesel engine is different. Because in petrol engine, air plus fuel mixture is used, and in diesel engine only air is used for combustion. Or in petrol engine we are using carburetor to mix the air plus fuel mixture, whereas in diesel engine we are taking air directly from the nature. In petrol engine we are using a spark plug to produce a spark for combustion, whereas in diesel engine we are using fuel injector to inject the fuel for combustion. So these are the basic differences between petrol engine and diesel engine. Now we know about the 4-stroke, so let's move to the 2-strokes. What is 2-stroke? A 2-stroke engine is a type of internal combustion engine that completes a power cycle with 2 strokes of the piston during only one crankshaft revolution. Means in a 2-stroke engine, the end of the combustion stroke and the beginning of the compression stroke happens simultaneously, with the intake and exhaust function occurring at the same time. As you can see, there is 2 strokes, upstrokes and downstroke. In upstroke, fuel will come inside the cylinder, and at the same time compression will happen. And in downstroke, power and exhaust stroke will done simultaneously. Means in only one crank revolution, engine completes their working. That's why it is called 2-stroke engine. Now let's see the 2-stroke diesel engine working. This is the working animation of diesel engine, because petrol and diesel engine is different. So let's understand its strokes separately. In the upward stroke, inlet valve will open and exhaust valve will close, and piston will move from bottom to top and compress the air to their critical temperature, and at the same time, due to suction, air will come inside the cylinder. And in upward stroke, fuel will inject to the air which is at their critical temperature, which causes blast, and piston move from top to bottom, and will get the power, and smoke produced by the combustion will ejected from the cylinder in this stroke. Means in this downstroke, power stroke and exhaust stroke will combine in up downstroke. So this is how it completes these their working in only 2-stroke. Now we can understand its working by seeing this animation, that 2 strokes are combining, means suction compression is combining and exhaust and power stroke is combining. That's why it is called 2-stroke. Similarly, in 2-stroke petrol engine, the suction and compression is simultaneously happens, and exhaust and power stroke is simultaneously happens. So this is all about the 2-stroke petrol engine and diesel engine. So the basic difference between petrol and diesel in both 2-stroke or 4-stroke is that In petrol engine we are using spark plug, and in diesel engine we are using fuel injector. So this is the difference. So let's move to the next slide. As you can see the animation, how a 2-stroke and 4-stroke engine working. When a 4-stroke engine completes their only 2-stroke, means half working, then at that time 2-stroke engine completes their working. So this is how both engines are working. So this, by using this animation you can compare the both engine, 2-stroke and 4-stroke. So this is all about engine working. We learned with the help of animation and with the help of slides that what actually a stroke is, what are the various names of the strokes, and what is 2-stroke, what is 4-stroke, and how they are working in petrol and diesel engine. How the spark plug produces spark in power stroke, how fuel injector inject the fuel to produce the combustion inside a cylinder. So we learn these all things. I hope you will like it. Thank you.